Welcome to Chair Pilates. My name is Jen. All you need for this workout is a chair. We will be seated in the beginning. I will show some standing exercises towards the end of class. That, of course, you can do still seated, or you can end the program at that time if you wish. Shoes are optional, and let's just go ahead and get started. So first, we're going to find a neutral spine. And what I mean by neutral spine is that we're in an alignment that's best suited for our bodies. So from here, I want you just to rock just a little bit with your pelvis and just feel how it's moving front and back. Tailbone is going under and then flipping up. And just feel, and you can use your hands like I am, that the front and back of the abdomen here, the hands are parallel to one another. This is a neutral spine, a neutral lower spine. Now to get the rest of the spine in neutral, allow the rib cage to just float over the pelvis, shoulders are over the hips, and gently pull the head back so the ears, again, line up with the rest of those bony structures. And just hold here. It may feel a little funny, like you're back against the wall. I want you to soften into it. And we can do so with our breath. Inhaling through the nose if you're able, and just allow for a full diaphragmatic breath. Allow for the air to move all the way down to the low belly, all the way around the abdomen, filling all the way up into the lungs. So we can also use our hands here and just feeling where the air moves. The belly is expanding, that the chest is rising as the lungs fill, taking as slow or as rapid of a breath as it feels comfortable for you today. Try not necessarily to change the breath, more of an observation, and just doing the best breath that we can. Again, inhaling and releasing, holding this neutral spine, and then one more breath. Good, adding some movement, hands can go down, and we're just gonna allow that pelvis to rock a little bit more purposefully now in a pelvic tilt. And then flipping tailbone up. So I'm gonna show you to the side, you can stay where you're at. Then I'm just activating my lower core muscles, and I'm just allowing the tailbone to move, allowing the pelvis to rock forward and back. The deep abdominals are contracted here, neck and shoulders stay relaxed, and we continue the diaphragmatic breathing to allow those deep muscles to contract and expand as they need to. This is a great way to loosen up that lower spine. If you have any issues like sciatica pain, any lower back pain, issues with the hips, this is a great warm-up exercise. And then just finding that neutral spine again. Now from here, arms can stay on your legs, or they can go by your sides, or even hold the chair. We're gonna go a gentle side bend. So we picture as though the back of the body is against the wall, and we're just going from side to side, gently bending that spine, feeling a nice stretch through the sides here. Just focusing on the torso, nothing really with the arms just yet. We'll add them in later. Head stays in line with the rest of the spine to the best of our ability. That helps to strengthen the neck. Last one over here. Good, now coming back into center. We're gonna allow for the tailbone to tuck under again like we did in the beginning, but this time adding some arms, creating a full scoop of the abdominals, rounded like you're hugging a big beach ball, elbows pointing out, chin is tucked, adding the neck. Inhale, coming up, lifting tailbone, lifting heart, expanding that beach ball as we pull the shoulder blades together. And again, exhale, rounding, hollowing, tucking, and inhale. So I'm going to encourage you to move with your breath. So if you are faster or slower than me, you don't have to follow my tempo. I want you to do what feels good for you today. What's most important is that we have quality movements here, and that we're mindful about how the body is moving and stretching, the muscles that are active, and the muscles that maybe are relaxed. And one more each direction, maybe going a little bigger if you can. Opening up the heart, and then coming back into neutral. Good. Let's go ahead and bring the arms back out. They just had a little bit of a break. So notice my hands are in line with my shoulders. You don't have to go any higher, but guess what? You can go lower if that feels better, and you can even go to a bend. I'm going to go ahead and show the full to begin here. You're going to slide as though, again, you're against the wall, reaching through those fingertips there, and then come back through center, and then reach the other way. So when you're here, you stay in that neutral, your lower body stays the same, and you're just reaching out from the hips all the way, like I said, through the fingertips there. So it's still a lateral move, really good for that deep low back. Okay? You have to really contract the abdominals here. So if you feel like you can't go too far, that's okay. This is maybe a new exercise for you, a new movement. If your arms get heavy, just simply lower them down. You can go back to no arms, and that's fine. And you can always bring them back up as they get a little bit of a rest. Let's go ahead and come back into center and lower the arms if they were up. Good, and from here I want you to go ahead and do some deep shoulder rolls for me in case there's any tension in the neck and shoulders. If this doesn't feel good for you, you can just pick the shoulders up, pull them back and down, and just allow for the muscles of the neck to relax. You don't have to go as full as I do. Just allowing for some blood flow. Good, moving on to rotation. So we're going to cross the arms. This way we activate the core a little bit more. We're going to begin rotating. So just focus on the spine is rotating to the right, so you're going to mirror me. The belly, the chest, and the head are all rotating that way very carefully, and then we come back through center. We unwind the spine with ease, and we move through to the other side. Now again, we're just focusing on the spine here. Adding the neck, taking the gaze. So we're going to go one more like this, each direction nice and slow, and then we'll pick up the tempo here in a moment. Keeping the spine very vertically placed, keeping the shoulders down and relaxed. Feel as though your waistline is like a wet towel that you're reading out, really allowing for those internal organs to get a little hug there. Good, and now we can add some arm movement, releasing the arms back out to your sides to the best of your ability. Try to keep that straight line as we rotate. So if you need to do a little visual check, make sure this arm's not cheating. We still want the spine to do it, but now we have the arms for more weight to make it more challenging for our core muscles. And coming back to center, good. And as promised, we'll go a little bit quicker here with the arms. And bringing it back, one more each direction, still feeling as tall as when you started. And bringing it back, and switching. And pulling back and releasing arms. Good, the arms get a break. Let's go ahead and do another shoulder roll, or just picking the shoulders up and placing them down. Good, and shaking out any tension. Good, from here we're gonna raise right leg up. You're gonna mirror me. And all we're doing is letting the foot hang. You can flex, whatever you wanna do with the foot is fine. It's all about this hip flexor and the deep abdominals, placing that foot down, switching legs. So as we do this, notice we're holding it for a moment. That's to gain some core activation and some control and some practice. And we continue to hold and then switching legs. Good, so notice my posture stays the same. So if you feel, in order to really get that leg up, you gotta lean back. I encourage you to lower the leg down a little bit so you can remain that tall, erect posture. And switching again. Good, you can hold on to the chair if that's comfortable for you. Hands in the lap, whatever's comfortable for you. And let's go ahead and switch now to where we're raising up. We're gonna kick the foot out, pull the foot back in, and place that foot down. Again, lifting and kick, pull in and down. So now we're working the top of the thigh a little more, the back of the thigh, and again, top, a little bit more, and then pull back. Good, we're gonna keep going with this exercise, stretching through the legs as we work on maintaining that good core activation and posture. Taking a break as you need to, and then coming right back. Good, we're gonna go just one more each. Doing great, stay with me here. Good, and then go ahead and rest down for just a moment. Just kind of relax the hips. And then from here, we're gonna do a rond de jambe. And all that is making like a rainbow. So we're going to bring the right knee in towards the other knee and then rainbow it up and out. So it's kind of like that outer and inner leg movement that we've done in other classes, but now we're just adding a little bit higher lift to make it pretty. In, up, out, out, up, in, like so. So we're activating the inner thigh a little bit more on that way in and that way out. So hands again can go where it's comfortable. You can even use them for help moving that leg, and you don't have to go as big as me either. Let's go ahead and give that leg a break and work with the other leg. In, up, out, out, up, in. Still keeping the posture as strong as when you started. Now, if you have arms on your chair, you may not be able to go out as far, and that's okay. I want you to feel very stable with your sitting bones on the chair, and just go as far as your body and the chair will allow. Good, now we're going to open again. This time, we're going to drop and pivot that front knee into a lunge position. So again, you're going to be more angled this way if you've got the obstruction there. Otherwise, opening out to the best of your ability, taking hold of the back of the chair if you would like to do so, and the front arm comes up. We're going to add a little bit of a lateral bend up and over. So now what we're doing is we're squeezing the back of that hip, lengthening through the front of the hip. We're breathing here and holding, releasing any tension from the area that we just worked. Coming out of that stretch, we come back into the center position. Rond jump to the other side. Pivoting that knee, squeezing here, holding, lifting up and over. If this is too much, guess what? You can just go right here and hang out here if you feel that nice stretch here. You also may feel some lengthening occurring through the side body. And then we come out of that nice and easy, using your hands for assistance if you need. We're going to go to the other side again, rond de jambe, open, and pivot. Extending a little bit further with the leg, if that's comfortable for your back, holding here, and then lifting. Now, navel to spine, really tight here. If this is comfortable for your back, you can add a little baby extension, opening it through the hip flexor a little bit more, remembering to take care of your body and listening to it first. Really squeezing here and here to protect, and then coming out of it, again, back through center. Rond de jambe, other side. Last lunge, squeezing, lifting, hold, extend through the back leg a little more if it's comfortable, lifting up, navel to spine, and gently coming out of it. And you should feel definitely more stretch in the hips at this point. Let's go ahead and take care of the feet. Hands are going to go underneath that right thigh, just to hold here so it doesn't have to work right now. And we're just going to circle the foot around. So as you're here, just feeling as though you're tracing around that ankle joint. Toes are moving around. You can spread them out. So let's go ahead and reverse the circle. Of course, if you're wearing shoes like I am, that maybe feel kind of silly. And that's all right, but we can still try. And then go ahead and place that down. And switching. Still, we're holding a tall posture, keeping the Pilates principles alive, while we're releasing tension in that lower foot there. And then go ahead and reverse. Almost there. And placing it down. Okay. All right, let's get back to some arms. Bring them forward for me. Hold here. Now I want you to maintain the tall posture, and now pull the shoulder blades away from one another, away from the spine as you protract, activating the muscles of the chest, keeping the head in line to the best of your ability, and then pull back into more of a neutral. And then front and back to neutral. So we're exercising, again, the front of the shoulder and the chest here as we stretch behind the shoulder. Very small movement. You may not feel the shoulders moving at all, and that's okay, but the intention is there. And back, just two more. And just continue to breathe. And now we're going to pull the shoulder blades towards one another, and then back to a neutral. So this is retraction, pulling towards one another and back. Pull and release. Now I encourage you to try to keep the shoulders down as you do this. It's really easy to pull them up like I was just doing because it makes it go a little further. But we don't want to add any tension there. One more here. And then we rest the arms down for just a moment. We're again going to pick the shoulders up and place the shoulders down the back to release any tension in the neck, and then raising the arms up upon inhale. Keeping the body in the same position. Only go as high as is comfortable for you, bending the elbows as you need to, and then open the arms out by the sides. This is a big circle-like position that we're moving the arms through. Inhale. It's just a big sweep and open. Stretching the large muscle of the back, also underneath the shoulders, still activating our core. And let's go ahead and reverse it, reaching out first, take it up, and then fall forward. That might be a little tricky. So let's practice that again. Reaching out, inhaling, and exhale to release. Last one. Down. Good. Now, hands are going to be in front of the shoulder again. We're going to make some little circles moving in towards the center of the body. So small circles, hands moving in towards one another. So you're just shaping around the shoulder, no bigger, small and controlled, working some muscular endurance of the shoulder here. And we reverse it. Good. Small, tight, and controlled. Pause. Flip to where the palms are facing up and lower the arms down. And again, just relax the shoulders. We're almost there. Raising the arms out by your sides. Now, no higher than shoulder height. You can go lower, of course. We're going to stretch that major nerve as we raise the fingers up and point the fingers down. Nice and easy here. You may feel a tingling sensation. That's perfectly normal. It's perfectly normal to feel nothing at all also. So don't worry, but either way, we're taking care of that nerve. And down and up, and working the arms while we're at it. Just two more. And this is where we get to work a little bit more endurance. Hang with me. You're going to flip the palms to face up again, this time thumbs pointing back, and then thumbs pointing in front. So pretend there's a doorknob on each side of you that you're opening and closing, okay? So this is massaging that ball and socket there. All right, bend the elbows as much as you need, lower the arms down as much as you need. It might be getting heavy. Last one, open, hold, and float the arms down. And one more, shoulder roll up and down. Good, you're doing great. So for the standing portion, joining me behind the chair. So that big C curve that we did at the beginning, we're going to do that with the use of the chair here. So I'm going to have you step back as far as you can to where your posture is aligned, but you're able to just lightly touch. This is spine stretch forward. So here, we're going to point the thumbs to point up. We're going to slide the arms to the back of the chair as we round and hollow the abdominals. Knees are bent here to get a good stretch through the back, and we just reach through the arms. This is a core exercise. It's designed to really focus on the spine. And then inhale up top, all the way to neutral. And again, exhale. And inhale. So you may look different than me if your chair is taller or shorter or bigger, but the idea is that we're getting that really good stretch back there, a really good abdominal contraction, and again, rounding. And the rebuilding is really important for the spine. And on top, good. We're going to go ahead and move on to rotation. So thumb is up still. We're going to open up to the right. So here we're just in a tall position, just pulling that shoulder and arm back as far as you're comfortable with, and then coming back to neutral. So we're just kind of reversing some of that forward movement by moving back activating the back body just a little bit here. One more each side. Remembering your arm can stay low. It doesn't have to be as high as mine. It can be bent, or you could do no arm at all. All right, moving into some squats because we love squats, right? So just get into a position that feels comfortable in relation to the chair, and just pretend the chair is behind you as you sit back. Now, for those of you that care to, your hands can be lifted away from the chair. You don't have to use it if you don't need it, but it's there if you do. Knees and toes are pointing forward. Again, really aiming your hips behind you, pretending that you're sitting down, squeezing up through that back side as you come up. Let's go 4 more. Maybe trying to go a little deeper as you feel more stable and in control. Last 2. And 1. And then coming closer to the chair, we're going to releve. It's simply just going to be a heel lift. I'm going to have your feet still hip distance apart and just lifting up with the heels. So I'll show you to the side here. It's just a lift up and down. So we maintain the back of the body against the imaginary wall as we do this. We're also breathing, remembering that diaphragmatic breathing that we practiced in the beginning of class today. Especially when things get tough, we don't want to hold on. It's easier to complete the movement as we breathe through it. Almost there. Just 2 more. And 1. Okay, all right, now we're going to stretch that out. I want you to step the right foot back. Press that heel down so you're in a lunge. So I want the knees and toes all facing forward, pressing that back heel down, get a nice calf stretch back there. Now to activate the core and the brain, we're going to stretch the opposite arm in front. Good, and we're just going to hold this, and then if you'd like, you can release that hand to where it's not touching for a little more balance. Otherwise, for more support, the chair is right there. Good, let's go ahead, lean forward, and step it in. Switching sides. Stretch out that calf, straight behind you if you can. Opposite arm, nice tall posture. Breathing through that stretch. Challenging your balance if you want to. And step it in. 1 more each. Maybe going back a little deeper as you're becoming looser back there. Holding. Releasing if you want to. Step it in. Last one. Good. Chest stays lifted. Finding your balance. Good. And step it in. Good. Last exercise before we stretch. I want you to step your right foot out. Stay very vertical here. You're going to exercise that outer hip by lifting up and down. So this is a muscle that tends to be weakened in a lot of people, so Pilates likes to focus on it a lot. I'm just having you keep the kneecap facing forward here, just a neutral position to keep it nice and easy and stable for your joints and balance. You can tap in between if you need to, or keep that foot elevated if you can. Last one, go ahead and switch. Also helps to find a focal point in front of you for your balance too. If you're wanting to challenge yourself a little bit here, you may find one side feels a little different than the other, and that's perfectly normal. We all have that goofy side. And last one. Good. All right, let's stretch out together. So join me in a seated position. Focusing first on that outer hip we just worked. Crossing at the ankle and hinging. If you'd like more and your knee and hip are happy here, you can bring that foot up. And again, try to hinge from the hips. And we're going to stay here for several breaths. So I want you to keep that spine nice and long and continue to hinge from the hips. Allow more weight to fall forward without forcing any weight onto your joints directly. And just breathe deeply here. And coming up. Nice and gentle. Use your hands for support. Find a position that feels good for you. Keeping the integrity of the spine. Allowing yourself to fall forward to the best of your ability. And if you feel a stretch upright with the foot down, that's completely fine. It's about, again, that quality. And back up. Now, hands can either go behind your chair, depending on what kind of chair you're using. They can go to the seat, they can go to your low back for chest expansion. So I'm going to demonstrate first with the chair here. And I'm just going to allow myself to fall forward, a soft grip. So what I would like everyone to do is to retract the shoulder blades like we practiced to get the front of the chest to open up, keeping your head in a neutral position here. We're just going to breathe through this, again, nice and easy, allowing that front body to open. And then coming out of that, allow the shoulders to relax. Let's bring the right ear to the right shoulder and hold. Dropping the chin down, we're going to circle all the way over to the other shoulder, landing left ear to left shoulder. Hold. Drop the chin. Circle around the other side. Landing there and hold. Almost there. And dropping down. Other side. Hold, shoulders are relaxed, breathing easy. Now bringing the chin to center. And then coming up, taking the gaze up just a little bit, just a lift of the jaw. Coming back into center, feeling taller, right? Stronger, stretched. Thank you for joining me today.